home, for real estate, for investment, whatever. How much can I purchase? How much do I get from the bank? And right now I can tell you it's very important to talk about, okay, because of the interest charge, does it make more sense to rent an apartment, or does it make sense to buy an apartment for your own? So the question is always, how much would I get from the bank? And I hope you see my screen. Yes, you see my screen. So the question, as I said, the question is, how much can you get? So 40% of your netto salary, I'm talking about netto salary, net salary, times 12 times 100, divided by interest charge, the current interest charge you get from the banks right now, plus the repayment, like the down payment. I hope everybody knows it. If not, I mean, this is something we always discuss. For example, the topic renting or buying, what we discussed in personal consultation, what Alice said already at the end, you can tell, are you interested or not? So I want to give you an example. Let's take a net salary of 3,500 euros. And let's see, I mean, as Alicia said, a lot of expats earn good money. You're from the IT, data experts or whatever, project managers. So let's take the 3,500 euros and we take the 12 and the 100. So altogether 4.2 million divided by, I will write it down, 3,500 times 12 times 100. So this divided, and now the interest charges right now, the current interest charges right now are between 4-5%. It always depends on your life situation. It always depends on the building. So right now it's round about 4%. Most of the banks, they offer 4.5%, 4.7%, 4.9%. As I said, it always depends on the building and always on your situation. And the down payment or the repayment is right now around about 2%. Some banks, they say, okay, because the interest charge, they grow all the time, or they not grow, but they increase. The down payment, the repayment, the yearly repayment, they reduce down to 1.5 or 1.2%. So let's take the 6% altogether. So this would be divided by 6, 3,500 times 12 times 100 divided by 6 would be we have to take 40% of this times 100 divided by 6 would be 280,000 euros. This is what you would get from the bank. But it's always a question, not only, okay, how much because of your, like, connected to your salary, but it's always a question, okay, are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have a private loan? Do you have a car? And I'm going to show you how the banks always calculate. I mean, it's always a calculation, not only your calculation, but does the building, how is the calculation of the building? Is the value fine? So, but also at the end, we have to know, okay, how much income do you have and how much expenses do you have? So now we know, okay, we have 3,500 euros of income. This is the salary which you get. And then we always have to calculate the rent, which you would get if you have an investment real estate. If you want to purchase an own home, we have to reduce the expenses of your rent. Okay, so let's take this additional to it. So the rent, let's say 600 of rent for a real estate for investment. Now the banks, they always do, they take round about 80% of these 600 euros because there's a little risk if the tenant doesn't pay the rent. This is what they calculate, round about 20% of the rent. So now on the right side, we have expenses. For example, if you have a 3,500 euros net salary in a month, the bank says, okay, if you're a single person, if you're not married, the bank says around about 1,400 euros for the lifestyle cost. It's for food, it's for going out, it's for holidays, whatever. So on top of the 1,400 euros, you have to know a car, they calculate roundabout with 300 euros. I can tell you, these expenses, these rates from the bank, they increased the last months. That's why it's a little bit harder to get a loan or to get a mortgage if you have a small salary. Yeah, it was 3-4 years ago, it was very easy. Actually, you could get a salary for 280,000 with, let's say, 2,300 euros of net salary. Right now, it's not that easy because lifestyle costs increased. The inflation is higher. You have to pay more for a car. You have to pay more for gasoline, and everything increased. Yeah, and also if you have a kid, for example, it's between 300 and 400 euros in a month. This is what they calculate. If you have a kid, it's important to know on this side, we have to count or to calculate the Kindergeld, the money which you get from the government for the kid. Okay. So on the right side, as I said, we always have to mention, that's why the banks always wants to know, okay, how they want to see the documents, and they want to see your monthly, like your bank account statements. They want to see, okay, where do you pay your money to? Do you have any kids with, like in different countries, whatever. Yeah. So we have to collect all the expenses, and at the end, the question is, do we have a positive number or do we have a negative number? And then the bank will decide, okay, will you get the 280,000 euros? Okay. What is the second position on the right? I will write it down. It's for the car.
For example, if you have a spouse, etc., that is working and you want to do it together, you could put her or his income also to the plus, right? Yeah.
It's, as I said, it always depends. Okay. For example, it's just an example. If you have more than 4,700, I think 4,500 or 4,700 euros, the bank says, okay, you earn more, you spend more for lifestyle. Then you have more lifestyle cost. Then instead of 1,400, you have 1,600 euros. If you buy an own home, as I said, they will, if you have a rental apartment right now for the rent, let's say 1,000 euros warm, they will take this out of this calculation, okay, because you are going to move to the own home. At the end, the big question is, do we have a positive number or do we have a negative number? But this is something you can only do if you ask the bank, like, or if an broker, or like, for example, this is what we are doing for our clients. We offer this, okay, let's calculate. Does it make sense to ask the bank? Do you want to spend a lot of time for bring all your documents to the bank and ask for the loan? So this is something you can decide before you spend time for this work.
Correct.
Okay. The second, now we come to the next point. As I said, at the end, the bank always decides: do you get this home? Do you get this real estate for investment? Or do you have to wait? Do you have to rent longer? So a lot of people think if they go to their own house bank, like where they have their bank accounts, they think, okay, and you get the cheapest or the best offers from this bank. It's very important to compare all the offers from different banks, because it could be, for example, now I'm in Frankfurt. Yeah, now I want to buy an apartment. I want to buy a house in Frankfurt. It could be the bank in Berlin, Stuttgart, Munich. They give a better offer. It's like comparing to the bank in Frankfurt. So why should we not offer, or why should we not invest the time as the bank from Munich? And maybe in case the bank says you have to come to Munich, okay, then you go there and sign the contract, but it's the same money. But if you can save a little bit more money, like if you get a better condition, if you get a better offer, it will like influence 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of time, and you save more money if you go there one day. But right now, I mean, we are more and more digital in Germany, thank God. So the banks, they send the contracts to you or to the broker or to the guy which gave you the offers. So a lot of people don't only think, okay, the house bank is the cheapest one, but they think, okay, let's ask in the internet. For example, not only for a house, but also for a car. Please do yourself a favor. Don't ask too many banks for a loan, and work with the right people together. Because every time, I did it in the past already. I did it, I think 2012. And when I asked a loan for a car, which is not very smart back then, it was not that smart. But I asked the bank, I asked in the internet for a car loan. And every time when you asked in the internet, check 24 or at the house bank, they collect this information that you checked, that you asked for the mortgage or for the loan. They collect this in the Schufa. I hope everybody knows Schufa is a company which give you a score, and this score is very important if you get the loan or not. This score tells the banks, okay, how do you say Wahrscheinlichkeit? I always forget this.
Probability.
How? Probability. Probability. Okay. How high is the probability that you will pay back the loan to the bank in a proper way? Okay. This is the Schufa score. I'm going to show you how a Schufa score looks like if you ask the bank too often. You see?
Oh, too often.
One time, second time, third time. Now,
is this bad for the Schufa?
This is very bad for the Schufa. I will scroll up the next time.
Wer war das?
Next time. Next time. It was a client from me. Okay. He thought he will ask a lot of brokers because he said, okay, I want to compare a lot of brokers. You always have to be careful. This harms your Schufa. And I can tell you, a lot of people think to get this score from the Schufa, you have to pay a fee. No, you don't have to pay a fee. This is something what I can do for you. It's for free. One time in a year, it's for free. You get the Schufa score. It's very important, and I think I do this all the time. I check my Schufa score all the time because you never know. Okay, for example, if you move too often in 1 year, this harms your Schufa score also. Okay, and it's always nice to know, okay, what's this Schufa score? Because if you ask one day, you get a good offer for an own home, real estate, for investment, whatever, or if you want to ask for a car loan, and then you say, okay, now I want to go to the bank, and then you have a bad Schufa score, you do all this work. I mean, I did it a few times, this mistake. You do all this work, you bring a document to the broker, you bring the document to the bank, and at the end they check the Schufa and they say, no, your Schufa score is bad. So it's always good to check at least one time in a year the Schufa score, and you will see what's mentioned in there. And I can tell you, they know a lot about you. And yeah, as I said, this is something we do for our clients. Also, as I said, it's very important if you have an intermediary. This is something what I suggest to have like a broker which helps you to compare a lot of banks. For example, we have a broker or we have a bank manager which compares up to 900 banks in Germany. 900 banks. I mean, then you get the best offer always. Okay. And then you can compare between those two brokers or three brokers too. But always be careful. As I said, be careful. Tell this broker, and a good broker will never do this, but tell him not to ask for the Schufa, like not to ask or not to apply for a Schufa's, how do you say, to check the Schufa for you, or to go the next step and ask the bank, because every time when the bank checks your Schufa, this will be named or mentioned in the Schufa score. Okay.
Okay. You mean because we do check the Schufa in front for potential clients, like we
Yes.
check, they check. Okay, that's what I.
Yes. Bank checks. If you ask the bank for a loan and the bank checks the Schufa, this will be mentioned. But it's always better to check by yourself for free one time in a year, and then you know, okay, should I go to the bank and harm the Schufa, or should I wait maybe have a year longer until the Schufa score is better? Okay, this is the second mistake a lot of people do. The third mistake, one of my it's my favorite mistake, or one of my favorite solutions we can offer, or what I suggest. Always take care about the location where you buy. Okay, location is very, very, very important. I always say there are only 3 points if we're talking about, especially about real estate for investment: location, location, location. I'm going to tell you why. If you have a good location, the value of your real estate will always increase. If you have a good location, you can always increase the rents. If you have a good location, you will never have an empty apartment.
Or sell it for a good price if you live in the home.
Or if you live in there, sell it for a good price. So always check, okay, this is the apartment, what's nearby the apartment? Do we have schools? Do we have kindergarten? Do we have grocery markets? Do we have infrastructure? Are we good connected to a bigger city maybe? Or are we good connected to the economy? Economy is very important because, I mean, if you buy an own home, it should be not that far from your job or from your company, but it's always important to check out, okay, are there companies which move to the region? So everything, economy, infrastructure, grocery, kindergarten, school, whatever, this always helps your value to increase if it's an own home or if it's in real estate for investment. A lot of people do this mistake. I can just mention, I know few people, they say, okay, listen, the east of Germany, it's very cheap. I'm not that big fan. I mean, everybody should do what they want to do. I mean, I'm not talking about Berlin. Berlin is very expensive. It's a good location, but I'm talking about further in the south of the east of Germany, with not a lot of like companies and not a lot of people want to move to. Okay.
I have one question. Just can you name maybe the top 3? For example, I'm Googling and I want to find out. I'm home hunting and I want to find out. Okay, what key words do I have to look for? Do we have 3, like school, supermarket, S-Bahn or something?
Infrastructure, economy, and for your living, schools, grocery stores. These 3 points.
What do you mean by economy?
Economy, okay, well, how many companies are in the region?
Okay.
And which companies, bigger companies, smaller companies, how is the, do they have a lot of employees?
Okay, that's good.
These are very, very important points. Okay, especially if you talk about real estate for investment. And as I said, location, 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 because at the end, nobody wants to lose money within real estate. Nobody. If it's for an own home or if it's for an real estate for investment. So be careful with the location. The 4th point, it's more about real estate for investment when it comes to the size. I mean, a lot of people think, okay, the bigger the better. Like, let's buy a bigger apartment, a penthouse apartment. Let's buy a luxury apartment. And I can tell you, especially if we talk about real estate for investment, it's important not to buy an oversized apartment, okay? Because not a lot, if it comes to the point when the tenant moves out, not a lot of people want a big apartment to live in, because most of the people, if they search for a big apartment, if they could purchase they buy it. And also, if you have a luxury apartment and you want to take 2,500, 3,000 euros, not a lot of people can afford it. So it's not only about the price, like we have a higher price for a bigger apartment. We have a lower price for a smaller apartment. So also I can tell you the rents comparing to the size are better. The rent is higher, like comparing to the square meters, than the rent of a bigger apartment. The rents are lower. So always, I say, if it comes to real estate for investment, I say it's always, between 40 to around about 105 square meters, 110, something like that. This is what I experienced. The risk is always there. If you have a big apartment, oversized apartment, that you don't get the tenants which wants to live there. Okay. Now we come to the fifth mistake, and it's very important to talk about this. Management. If you go for an own home in a bigger building and you want to buy an apartment, if you want to buy an apartment for like real estate for investment, it's always very, very important to talk about the management, because you have to know the management for a building is like a company. They have a boss, they have their employees, and then they have to take care about this building. So the company has to plan investments for this building. They have to check out, okay, we want to invest in 2 years, 20, 30, 40, 50K. Now we have to save money for this investment. And then they divide it on all the owners. And then it comes to the economy plan. And then it comes to the maintenance savings. How much should you save every month, or how much do you have to save as in maintenance savings? And I'm going to show you, this is how an economy plan looks like. A lot of numbers. For me, it's easy to read. For people who don't know how to read this, it's not that easy. This is how an economy plan looks like. This is how a real estate management does it for you. I mean, you pay the management if you live in this building. For an own home, for real estate for investment, they don't care. You have to pay for the management. So this is how it looks like. And as I said, it's like a company. And if you choose a building with the wrong management, which doesn't take care about this building, which doesn't do their job right, then you can step in a big mistake. You can, at the end, you will just invest. Okay? So they don't just tell you how much you should pay for the maintenance savings, but also they tell you, or they check out, okay, because of increasing of the gas prices, oil price, whatever, they have to manage this. It's like a company. And if you have a bad management, you have some problems. And I can tell you, for example, this is a very good example. It's an offer or a building I'm selling right now, or I'm offering right now. For example, it's in a 7 apartment building, very nice. In this case, you see, it's like a statement, like a bank account statement. You see, they have 63,000 euros of maintenance savings. Okay, it's quite good. It's quite a lot for 7 apartments. So if something happens to the building, I'm not talking about the apartment you live in, the apartment you rent out, but if something happens to the building, they take this money and they purchase this renovation, investment, whatever.
So you have to basically to invest less from your own. So there's no bad surprises, for example, in the future that I get a letter from the owner, hey, Frau Svani, you have to invest this in this because we want to like build a new bicycle garage or whatever. Is this something what you mean?
For example, it's in this case, for example, they want to build a bicycle carport, or what, how do you say it? That's how it is.
Yeah.
Management always takes care about, okay, what does the tenants which live in there, or the owners which live in this building, what do they need? And as I said, if you have a good boss, if you have a good company, they take care about everything. And also they take care about the owner meetings. That's very important, because the management has to do this 1 time in a year. And if they do this in a proper way, if they do this good, and I mean, there's an ownership, and they have to take care about, okay, does everybody has the same mind about this investment or this investment? Okay. And also very important, if you have in real estate for investment, for example, very important to know, okay, does this management, this building management offer an apartment management? Okay, if we have in real estate with several apartments and you own one apartment, it's very important or nice to know, do they take care about your apartment or do they just take care about the whole building? So, I mean, you're not doing this kind of work with management, with tenants every day. So let other people take care about this. Okay. And I say the best solution is if here's the tenant, here's the management, you are the owner on this side, it's always nice to have an expert which has a good connection to you as an owner and also to the management who can connect everything and which takes care of and watches every process. Okay? And also translate this hard German language to your language. If you're German or if you talk German or whatever, it's very hard to understand, okay, which process is going on right now.
Yes, but sometimes I speak German and I have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, like, because you speak real estate-ish or not real estate-ish, and many investors, I don't want to speak real estate-ish at the end. But one question, what is the function or the what do they do for you, the management of the single flat?
For this management, you mean the apartment management? What do they do? If you have this apartment management and you have in real estate for investment, they take care about the site cost calculation at the end of the year. They take care about, okay, if the tenant moves out, they search for the next tenant. And if the tenant has a question, the tenant doesn't have your number, your phone number, but the management's number. Then they call the management and the management informs you. And then the management can take care about small renovations, repairing, whatever. This is what the management does. And believe me, it's very cheap. It's very, very, very low, the management, the apartment management. But as I said, not every building management offers this apartment management. Okay? Mistake number 6. And yeah, it's very not funny, but is what I experience a lot. Not every offer in the internet is interesting, or let's say if you get an offer from a real estate agent or from expert and you find another offer in the same location, which is maybe lower, the price is lower. I can tell you, if you have a good real estate agent, if you have a good expert guide by your side, he will always check out the management before he offers this offer to you. He will take care about and watch and see into this economy plan. He will take care about to check out about the maintenance savings. And he will take care about the condition of this building. Okay, if you have a good real estate agent, if you have somebody who just wants to sell in real estate to earn money, he will not take care about it. And also, a lot of people forget to they see just the numbers in the internet and then they think, okay, this one is cheaper. You always have to see the whole picture. You always have to check out, okay, what's about the energy rate? What's about the maintenance savings, economy plan, whatever. Okay, this is very important. And also I can tell you, in times of marketing and who's the best in the marketing, I can tell you a lot of offers in the internet. I know a lot of companies, they do. They offer nice offers in this location, and then you call them and then they say, listen, this apartment is already sold, but we have another apartment, but this apartment is more expensive. So always watch out and don't think everything in the internet is the golden goose. Okay?
Yes, or if something looks like affordable, what I experience a lot by myself is looking for an apartment as an investment in especially in Hamburg, bigger city. that there's, for example, the price was good. Oh, this is a good price, but then I get in touch with them, and then renovation fees are high, or maybe there was a lot of like cost that I have to pay per month, and this all adds on. This is what you mean, right? That
Yes.
looking behind offers and making the right questions. Also, for example, I work with my own, I don't work with any agents. How, as a private person, if I don't want to work with anyone, what can I do right? What can I do better? When I look at those offers in the internet, that because we just have the internet, you know, of course we have like people like us, but then we have only internet. You know, how can I protect myself?
Internet can help you, but also internet can damage, and yeah, damage a lot. But as I said, the main message at this point: take care about the details, or ask an expert whom you trust, who takes care about it. And because I hear this 10 times in a week, Samuel, I don't want to have a surprise in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. This is the most sentence I hear during consulting. Okay, this is, I don't want to have a surprise. I don't want to have a big investment after buying this real estate. This is and this is very important.
Yeah, but how we can check that there's not a bad surprise?
Now I would talk about the solution. How can we do this? I mean, everybody is working. Everybody's working from 9 to 9, from 9 to 5, from 9 to 6, from 10 to 6, whatever. I know expats work a lot. I experience this a lot. Yeah? And I always say, and I compare it with a laptop. Okay, I can tell you with techniques, I'm not that human which knows about technique. Yeah? And let's say I want to buy a new MacBook. I could search on the internet 10 days in a row and search for the best offer. I could search for the best type. I can search for the best material, whatever. I'm not in technique, okay? Or in IT or whatever. Or I go to my best friend or to a friend, to an expert, and ask him, listen, Mr. X, I want to buy a MacBook. This MacBook should last for 12 hours, 20 hours. I want to travel with this MacBook. I want to have this and this and this and this. This should be the Mac, should bring the MacBook. And then he says, listen, Samuel, this is the perfect offer for you. And for me, I'm very happy that I had this in my past, which like guidance with like guides or experts, which showed me, which checked already everything I had before they offered me this real estate. So always be aware of I mean, you could do this by yourself, but let's say you talk about the mistake number 1, then you talk about financing, then we talk about the location, then we talk about you search for the management, you check everything, then you what else? What else did we management? What else about the size? And then we come to number 6. You check out the offers in the internet, and I can tell you the market is pretty fast. So now you spend a lot of time to do the research, and at the end you lost this deal. Okay, this is what I often experience. A lot of clients, they say, okay, I want to do this research, I want to talk about this, and at the end they lose the offer because they were not fast enough. So it's always nice if you have an expert, if you have a guidance, which always helps you to come and to this to the.
But